Hi everyone, it's a little before 6 and this is your closing comment and it's video number 459. And as always, I remind you, if you like the work, please hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Okay, so today was kind of an interesting day. There wasn't anything wild going on, but the Dow closed up 122.06 or 0.43%. The Nasdaq was up 56.38 or 0.50. The S&P was up 0.8% at up 27.38, and more importantly, the Russell was up 1.09% and was the leader, up 17.51. And the transports made a new all-time high today and closed up 72.54, up 62%. The reason that I say it was a good day is because on the NYSE, the market internals, gainers outnumbered losers 3-1 and 2-1 on the Nasdaq. Volume was about average, so we didn't have anything overwhelming, we didn't have anything excessive, we just had a good broad-based day, but not too broad-based that it looks like a blow-off. So moderation, what can I say? Okay, new issue today, Fubo, F-U-B-O. It's Fubo TV, and it is a paid service specifically for sports. It looks like, they are consolidating a great deal of stuff to go in competition with ESPN or any of the other networks that are now all pay. So the stock was priced at 10. It opened at 11. It hit 12 during the day, although I didn't see it there. I saw it trading around 11 and a half, and it closed at 10.62, which shows for some reason down 158, but in point of fact, was up 62 cents from the offering price. Big news on GameStop, but very strange. GameStop looked like it was about to go under and was trading around $3.50 or $4. And I constantly made the comment that these people should have really understood the move away from their brick and mortar to streaming for purchases. The stock, however, went from about 4 to 11 during August and September, and it closed the day yesterday 9.36. They stopped it trading this morning for a little while pending news, and the news is somewhat perplexing as in view of what the stock did. The stock closed at 14.44, up 508 or 54%. And I think some people might have misread this. They signed a deal with Microsoft, but it's not a distribution deal for Xbox or anything even mentioned that way. It is a technology and maybe efficiency play. They are they signed with Microsoft to use their Office 365 and cloud services in the stores. So I don't know how that translates into a $5 move on a $9 stock, but I will say that this one has continuously had a huge short interest because, as I said, they've moved away from going to a physical location to buy a game as opposed to just streaming it. IBM, a little bit of a disappointment, I think, only because it was trading 138 this morning, and all it could manage was 131 and a half, up 742 or 6%. Basically, they said that they were going to have better revenues, but more importantly, they are breaking the company into two. and spinning it out to shareholders. So I guess there's more available, um, more available equity there, or value there, because the company has had, this last earnings report that it had was very good. It was the first time in 28 quarters that they actually grew revenue. But, still up 6% is not a bad day. Merger, Morgan Stanley buying Eaton Vance. What I found to be interesting today was that the street was not crazy about the deal initially and sent Morgan Stanley down 220 this morning pre-market. And yet it turned back to the upside and finished up 42 cents. So the stock was, the deal is stock and cash. And so Eaton Vance, which was trading about 58, 58 and a half, as high as 59 early, actually moved and closed at 60.82, which was a wonderful gain. DPZ, Domino's, put out numbers this morning, and they put them out as revenue first, which was up, and then earnings, which were down. As a matter of fact, a particularly bad, it wasn't like they lost money or anything, but expectations for the stock were $2.79, I believe, and they came in at $2.47. In any event, the stock had a high pre-market of 442, but it came down pretty hard after that and was trading 414 this morning when I did my pre-opening, and that was down 17. And it continued all day and actually closed at 401.88, and that was down 29.17. So and it looks on the chart, it's just a gap to the downside because none of that 442 is even in there. So it shows, the open around 414 and then the decline to 399 and change. Lilly up 474. It was 151 this morning. Pre-market, it was 153.70, up 3.2%. And they want to file for emergency use. And so does Regeneron, which is kind of interesting because Regeneron was trading at around 618, 617.90 this morning when I did the original call, and that was up 26. But for the day, it actually only traded as high as 614 in the regular market, and then at the close, it was actually 599.70. But that was still up $8.10 or 1.24%. It just shows you how volatile the pre and the extended hours tend to be based on big moves in stocks without very much volume. So, you get somebody out in Minnesota who goes to their Robinhood account and says, buy me 10 shares of Regeneron at the market, and they get banged around a bit. Okay, the chart on the screen is the silver, and the reason I have it up there is because I took a position in it today on the short side. I think that this is interesting, but I think I see this rolling back down. The dollar looks a little stronger to me, and so up dollar means things quoted in dollars tend to go down. We were up, we couldn't go very far, and this is a very short range day compared to what we've seen, but I was looking at it kind of rolling over, and we bought some SLV October 16th 22 puts for 50 cents. They then immediately turned down and went to 40 cents, and I believe they closed 43 bid offered at 44. So it's a small position, and in fact, we had a really nice reversal in the last couple of days on some CVS calls that were within pennies of being stopped out on our 50% down rule, and I sold those. They cost an average of 84 cents, some at 58 cents, some at $1.02, and I sold those, half of those, at $1.10, and so we have a nice gain sitting there in equity. So I was more than happy to go. I mean, I think that this could easily come down and test these lows, even if it's going higher, based on what I saw here today. What I found interesting was that even though the silver was down, the gold was actually up $4, although the silver has tended to lead it. But again, same basic thing. Bottom here, move up. And this one, we have this downtrend line that has not been violated yet. And we had another short range day, slightly higher high and a higher low, and closing somewhat in the middle, but up on the day. So that's what we did today. I just want to pull up two more. Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been consolidating. We are in not the Bitcoin, but the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We have an $8.97 average. I also sold a third of the position when it was $13.93, which was in this area, right up against the prior highs. But it came down, it's held. Yesterday was a tiny range day, and today we went straight up. I think in my charts with comments, I think I said that we needed to close above this 10,960, or possibly this one here, 11,015, and we did close above the 10. We closed right at 10,955. So we'll have to see if we get an extension there. And last but not least, my favorite chart to hate, and that is the US dollar index. And here's where we are. We rallied up through this consolidation. We broke out, we rallied up. We have basically done a flag here, and as you can see, we're rolling sideways now. So I would say that a move over 94, which is pretty darn close when you're 93.64, if we get back through there, I think we at the very least test this 95 area, or the highs in here at 94.79, so 94.80. Either way, regardless of how high it goes, if it goes up at all, it is a negative influence on the silver. All right, everyone, don't forget to subscribe. I hope everybody had as good a day as me, and I'll be back first thing in the morning.